What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 2 of Warzone Wednesday. Okay, so this week I want to talk about a topic suggested by a user called RSSpark17, and he said, would love to hear your opinions on best PvP class, maybe an objective look as opposed to what suits your playstyle. Great video. Thanks for the suggestion, mate. So we're going to be talking about this today. What he means by this basically is what I assume what I think is the best class for PvP, playing the objective and not as opposed to what I prefer to play is in my playstyle and whatnot. Now the first class that comes to mind is the one I'm actually playing at the moment, which is Jedi Shadow. And as some of you may already know, that I don't really like playing this class in PvP in the sense that it's not my sort of playstyle, but I think from an objective view, it's a brilliant class. If you watch the second live commentary I did for Warzone, you'll see, and I play the objective on purpose, and we win the Warzone. And what I do, I basically camp the objective, but like I defend, and because I've got the stealth, a lot of the time the enemy can come towards the objective thinking it's free, and then I just like gank them and then go back into stealth. And this can distract them from like the other two objectives that we had, and we held all three objectives. It was in Order and Civil War for and we held all the objectives for most of the Warzone, and we did really well. And I think the Jedi Shadow is probably one of the best. Also the other stealth class, and I can't remember the class that can do it. I think it's the Imperial Trooper. I think it is Imperial Agent. Sorry, I think it's the other one that can go stealth. I'm not quite sure. But pretty much, I think any stealth class is one of the best for PvP, objective-wise. If you want to win that Warzone, if you're not bothered about kills and not bothered about having fun with your class, but if you just want to get a character that really works for your team and works for playing the objective, then I think any stealth class, especially the Jedi Shadow, is probably one of the best. Maybe actually, even come to think about it, is maybe the Sage as well, actually, because they can heal as well. So again, that's maybe even better than the Shadow. Although the Shadow is better at doing like melee damage. So if you get up to someone close, you can stop them from taking the objectives maybe just a little bit easier. And that's just my opinion anyway. And after playing, I've played quite a few Warzones now with the Jedi Consular and Shadow Spec, and it just seems to me that there don't really seem any point for them in PvP. Like, okay, you see this Jedi Sage and you think, right, healer. They're your healer basically. You've got the Trooper as well, I think, can heal. A lot of these classes in Jedi Knight, you either tank or you do DPS. The Jedi Shadow is kind of one of those that can sort of do everything apart from healing. Like, you can buff them up with like endurance and stuff. Or you can boost up to like take a lot of damage, or you can do like buff up your critical rating to do a lot of burst damage. You can go all stealthy style on them. There's a lot of different playstyles for them, and I think there's no real designated there's no real designated like role for them in a PvP Warzone. That's what I'm after. There's no role for the Shadow and Sage, and I think, well, not so much for Sage, but mainly the Shadow. And I think if you're looking for that class that you really want to mould into your playstyle, or if you're looking for that class that you really want to mould as an objective player class, then I think the Shadow or the Sage is probably one of the best to go. Like, the Consular doesn't really seem to have any specific role in the Warzone, so it's definitely I'd recommend it as a starter class, definitely. If you're not quite sure how you want to go, if you want to go healer, DPS, tank, whatever, then I'd say Jedi Consular. But anyway, back to the topic. A little off track there. The Jedi Shadow definitely, I think, is one of the best objective players. As you know, you can see if you watch, like I said, the live commentary, you'll see me playing the objective. And because I was stealthy, I could like hide around that objective and stuff, and not anyone saw me. Like, for example, if I wasn't stealth and an enemy saw me at that objective, they'd probably engage me and try and take it, or they'd say to their friends, "Hey, look, there's a guy over there. Get someone else to come and help me." Then it'd be a 2 versus 1 battle, and that would be harder for me to win. Whereas if I'm stealth, there's more likely going to just be one person coming over and think, "Oh, look, there's no one at that objective. Let's go over and take it by myself." And most of the time, I could probably gank them then. So, because I'd have the upper hand because I'm stealth and I can CC them right at the start and get some nice damage in before they can even come out of their CC. So, yeah, I'd have to say Shadow is probably one of the best objective players. I'm not going to make it a full conclusion because, again, I haven't played all the classes. The only classes I've played is Trooper, Jedi Shadow, and Sith Warrior. So I can't really speak for like the Bounty Hunter or the Imperial Agent or whatever. So, again, let me know what your opinions are down below. Leave a comment saying, if you have any other opinions on what you think the best objective player. Maybe you think the Jedi Knight is, or the Sith Inquisitor. Oh man, yeah, that's the same as the Conscious Sith Inquisitor is, but. So yeah, thanks very much for that question, and yeah, I definitely have to say the Jedi Shadow is one of the best for the objective indeed. And if you're looking, they're a brilliant team player. I mean, like I said, there's no specific role for them. They are like a support basically. They're a backup. Like if you need a stealth person on your team, they'll do it. If you need a DPS on your team, they'll do it. If you need someone to CC and harass the enemy, they'll do it. And I think. If you're in a guild who runs regular PvP pre-mades, you might want to, if your guild are in it to win and not just to farm the enemy for kills, you might want to think about rolling a Jedi Shadow. If you are looking to win, because what you could do is for the whole group, you could say, right, say for example you're an Alderaan Civil War, you could say, right, okay guys, let's split up. You could have half you guys go to the middle, and then you can have the other half split up again, and you could have all of them go over to the one side of the objective, but then you could have one Jedi Shadow in stealth, or even two, go to the other side of the objective. And I think that would probably work really well. Like if you had two Jedi Consulars, one Sage and one Shadow, both stealthing at one objective, that's going to be a very hard objective to take by yourself. You're going to need at least 3-4 people to take that objective, because you've got the Sage to heal and you've got the Shadow to do the damage. The Sage can also do even more damage. That designated CCs, designated buffs, they can get out of combat quickly, so they can get out and call the friends and come back in and get the upper hand again halfway through a battle if they need to. There's a lot of reasons why they would be a very good team together and take down a lot of enemies and defend that objective really well. So I think maybe not just a Shadow, but the Jedi Consular as a whole would be the best class to be an objective play for your team. And I think that setup would work really well in like a pre-made. If you had a Sage and a Shadow, both stealth, both going to defend one objective, that would probably work really well. I mean, another tactic I've seen work well to play the objective and to play to win was one that happened to me about a week ago against a pre-made it was us versus, like, we were all randoms versus a pre-made on the Imperial side, and they had an extremely good strategy and it made it impossible to win. Like, they died loads. We killed them so many times, but they won by, they won like 450 to 0. Like, we barely took down their ship. And what they did was very clever. Basically, they let us keep the center objective. There was no fighting going at the center at all. And what they took the objectives on the left and the right, and they held those objectives throughout the whole fight. And how they did was really clever. What happened was they split up in half. They took the left and the right. We pushed into the middle. We took them. We're like, okay, where are they all? Oh look, no one's taken the other side. Let's go take that one. So we took over there. As we got there, they all charged in underneath. Like, they went through the middle underneath and out the other side. Took us. They wiped us. So we're like, okay, now they're all over there. Let's go to the left one. So we'd all go over to the left one, and then they'd do the seesaw effect. They'd come right underneath, come up, and to the other side, take that one. They'd wait there, and they'd seesaw back, because so many people were so stupid to fall for that tactic and keep going left, right, left, right, left, right. And that was so easy for them, because they could just cut through the middle, take that speed buff, go in, wipers, go to the other side, wipers, go to the other side, wipers. And it was like that throughout the whole Warzone, and they won. They weren't bothered about kills. We wiped them quite a few times. Like, there was 1 or 2 people who came to the centre to try and ninja it, and I was defending the centre as stealth, and I managed to kill quite a few people going there. And we killed quite a few people like in the middle underneath as well. Like, I tried hiding in the middle, so we actually did get more kills than them, but they were in it to win, and they won big time, and it was a very clever strategy. And funnily enough, they had a lot of Jedi Shadows and Jedi Sages. So sorry, the Imperial mirror, which is Sith Inquisitor, and that is Sith Sorcerer and Sith, I can't remember the other one, but you know what I mean. And yeah, they owned us big time, and it was quite embarrassing. So definitely, I'd have to say overall, the Jedi Consular / Sith Inquisitor is one of the best classes to play if you want to play the objective. Even if you don't like that play style, doesn't matter. That is going to be the class that's going to help your team win, in my opinion. So that's going to wrap it up for this game anyway. If you want to leave any suggestions down below for the next topic I'm going to talk about, feel free. I've already got the next episode, what I want to talk about from the first episode that someone suggested, but if you want to leave one for episode 4, let me know. And also, if you've got any feedback on what your opinions are, on what you think the best objective class is, then let me know. And leave a comment down below or send me a PM. And yeah, I'd love to hear your opinions on this as well, because I think it's a very good question, because when I play PvP, I never really think about what player is going to be the best at killing and playing the objective. I always think about what class am I going to prefer to play in PvP. Like, am I going to prefer to play melee? Am I going to prefer to play ranged, heals, cast, tank? I don't really think about what is going to be best at winning it for our team. So yeah, brilliant topic to talk about anyway. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please rate it. That is really appreciated. And don't forget to leave a comment, leaving your feedback anyway. And other than that, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.